Local SEO is crucial for any business that wants to attract target customers. And in the world of AI and more people using ChatGPT, I found that local SEO is one of the easiest ways to get results in 2025 and beyond. So in this video, you're going to get a full webinar that I delivered live to hundreds of people, walking through why local SEO and exactly how you can get results for your business. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. You're all here today because you want to learn about local SEO, and this is going to be our local SEO masterclass. In terms of what we're going to go through, I'm going to walk through why local SEO, why should you even focus on it? Maybe you want to attract national, international clients, and you're like, why should I even bother? Maybe you know local SEO is important, because I'm then going to break down how local SEO works. Because in order to do something right, we need to understand the fundamentals of how it works to reverse engineer it and get the best results. I'm then going to give you 10 actionable SEO tasks. So you're going to be able to go away after this webinar, you'll be able to go away and actually improve your local SEO. But why local SEO anyway? Well, 46% of all Google searches have a local intent. That's around 4 billion searches a day are for something local. And when someone's searching for something local, so like last week, I was looking for a haircut. I searched haircut near me or barber near me or something like that. Whenever someone is looking for something local, you're going to see this map pack at the top, this list of Google business profiles, businesses near you that provide the product or service that you're looking for. And there's around 4 billion searches a day where this map pack is going to show up. And we do local SEO so that we show up when people are searching for those local products or services. So yeah, if you want to attract people locally, maybe you're a service-based business or could benefit from extra leads, if you could just benefit at all from attracting extra leads to your business, then local SEO is a must. Plus, from working with tens of thousands of websites, we've also found that local SEO is also easier than international or national SEO. Just because you're competing against less businesses, those businesses are local, so they likely have a smaller budget. So if you want to attract more leads easily, SEO, local SEO should be on your roadmap. And just to give you a couple of examples, this is my brother's gardening business. He's got a gardening business. It's a bit of a side hustle for him. I spent a day or two setting up his Squarespace website, doing local SEO, and now he attracts a couple leads a month, which is all he really needs in order to earn a little bit of pocket money on the side. This is then also a client of ours. They're a self-storage business in Yonkers, just north of New York. And you can see when you do local SEO right, I mean, local SEO for storage businesses is key. But when you do it right, they get calls, people visiting them, and clicks to their website, all from their Google business profile, i.e. local SEO. So it's crucial for many businesses, but then also for businesses that may not initially want to focus on local SEO, it can also drive extra leads. So now you know why local SEO, why you should even bother. I'm now going to quickly walk through how local SEO works so you guys can bear it in mind as we go through the actionable steps I'm going to give you. So this is the client I mentioned earlier, Honey Store It. They are, I'm just going to zoom in just so it's as easy as possible for you guys to see. So these guys are a self-storage business that are based in Yonkers, just north of New York. And what I want you to imagine is there's a person here that searches for self-storage Yonkers. So there's a person here that searches a local keyword. Because they've searched a local keyword, so because they've searched self-storage Yonkers, they're going to get this map that shows up. So the map is going to trigger because it's a local keyword. And these are Google business profiles. So this self-storage business ideally is going to try and rank in here. Now, whether or not it ranks in the map pack at the top of Google is based on a couple of things. First of all, it's the distance. So how far away this business is from this person and whether or not this business is in the area, i.e. Yonkers, that the person is searching. So that's the first thing, distance. So let's say there's another business here. Because this business is closer, in theory, it's more likely to show up on Google Maps. The second thing that matters is how optimized your profile is. So even though that this business is further away than this one from the person searching, if we can optimize this profile, this is a client of mine, if we can optimize their profile more than this one, they're going to show up higher. So therefore, when we do local SEO, the aim is to be as close as possible to target customers. Now, of course, that isn't always possible. Maybe you're a service-based business, or maybe you're located in a rural area further outside where, you know, a larger population is. So that's not always possible. So therefore, the main thing that we need to focus on is optimizing our Google business profile more than the competition, so it shows up at the top of the map when potential customers search for us. Now, the benefit with local SEO is we can actually track that. This is actually a map showing how local SEO works. Remember, the self-storage business that I highlighted earlier was here. So if I search self-storage Yonkers here, they're going to show up first. If I search it here, second, here sixth, here fourth. So we can actually track that in local SEO. And what I'm going to show you in this webinar is I'm going to walk you through the steps so you can make this whole map green so that you show up first, second, or third in the top three when your target customers are searching for you in your local area, which is ultimately local SEO. Now, the benefit when we track like where you're ranking is we can also identify our competitors. And by identifying competitors, we can reverse engineer what they're doing and apply it to our Google business. So with all of that in mind, I'm now going to walk you through 10 actionable steps that you can follow to attract more target customers locally. I'm also going to be sharing a free template later that you can just copy to boost your local SEO. So definitely stay around for that. Hopefully you've got a better understanding of how local SEO works and why we should be focusing on it. And now we're going to be walking through the actionable steps. So step one, local keyword research. Now, you've probably heard of keyword research before. Keywords are just the search terms that your target customers search into Google in order to look for the product or service that we're after. You can do keyword research on SEO space. However, local keyword research is slightly different compared to doing it on a national scale. Now, if you're going to do keyword research, I'm going to use this dentist as an example. They're a dentist in Boynton Beach, Florida. You know, most of us hopefully have been to the dentist, so it's an example we can all resonate with. And local keywords tend to follow a similar format. It's typically the product or service, so in this case, dentist, and then the location. So in this case, dentist, Boynton Beach, or dentist, Boynton Beach, Florida. And there's a couple of ways that we can find keywords. The first way is you could come over to SEO Space's Keyword Explorer. You could type in dentist, Boynton Beach, we will do Florida. You could select the United States and then press search in order to figure out how many people are searching for this keyword per month, get an estimate of how difficult it is to rank for it, all that sort of stuff. So that's how you could do it with SEO Space. However, the problem with this is you're searching on a national level. With local SEO, you may only be wanting to know how many people are searching within 20 miles away, maybe less, 10, 15, maybe further. So how we do that is you're going to use Google Ads Keyword Planner. And what you're going to do, you can actually select here and you can narrow down the location that you're actually searching. So in that case, I can put in Boynton Beach, Florida, click include, and you can see that it's going to allow me to do keyword research in this specific area. So for this dentist, they want to start off with Boynton Beach, right? So what you can do, you can select the areas that you want to rank for. Maybe you're a service-based business and you also want to go for broader areas. So you can add in multiple areas here. You press save, and then you just add in the product or service that you offer. So in this case, dentist. Press get results. And this is going to show you how many people are searching for that service in that area that you've selected. So in Boynton Beach, we can see there's between 1,000 and 10,000 people per month that search for dentist near me. And there's all these different variations here. It's going to give you an indication of how many people are actually searching for what you offer in the area that you selected. Now, once you've got an understanding of that, you can then save that keyword to use it in your SEO efforts in the future. Because if you don't know what your target customers are searching, as business owners, we use our own lingo and we often forget what people are really searching. Once we know that, we can save it and use it later on. Now, in local SEO, I'm just going to zoom in. Sorry, guys. In local SEO, you often see like near me keywords. Now, near me keywords, Google is smart enough to understand that if you add dentist Boynton Beach into your website, if someone searches dentist near me, it's going to pair, they're in Boynton Beach, they're in your area, and then they're going to pair you to your website. You don't have to add dentist near me onto your website, or whatever service or product you offer near me. Just put your product or service and then your location, and that's typically going to be your keyword, as you can see here. So Google Keyword Planner is an absolute gem. So just to recap, use SEO Space's keyword research tools to find broad keywords to get a flavor of what keywords you could go for, and then use Google Ads Keywords Planner. Once you find the keywords you want to go for, save that, because I'm going to be showing you later on how to actually optimize your Google business profile. Now, moving on to the second thing that you can do, and that is Google reviews. Google reviews are probably the single most important thing that you can do, because it's not only a massive ranking factor, but it also helps convert potential customers and more boost your visibility in AI search engines. So just getting Google reviews is a no-brainer for any business. It boosts local rankings, it increases your conversion rates, and it actually boosts your visibility in AI search engines like ChatGPT, Gemini, Google AI mode. And just to give you an example, this is actually a breakdown of how Google's AI works and how it recommends businesses. And you can see that for local businesses, the most important thing is local business reviews. So you must be focusing on getting as many Google reviews as possible. Now, how I personally recommend doing that is starting off by looking at your competitors. So what you could do for this business, for Cap Dental, I could type in dentist in Boynton Beach. I could go through the competitors and I could see how many reviews they have. What I personally like to do, and this is actually coming on SEO Space Local very soon, you can actually analyze the competition. So you can add your business in here. We'll find Cap Dental. So you can add any Google business profile here. You add in the keyword you want to rank for. So I'm going to put dentist near me, and then select the radius. And it's actually going to analyze to see how this business ranks in this area and analyze the competition. Now, I've already ran a report earlier just to show you guys, because when it comes to reviews, this is one of the things that I actually recommend. You come over to here, you scroll down. This is the map that I'll talk about later. And this actually shows you your top ranking competitors, showing you how many Google reviews they have, and also that average rating. And you can see Cap Dental, this business, only has 27 reviews. And when it comes to reviews, you probably don't want to hear this, but you want to aim to get at least as many as your top 3 performing competitors. So you can see here, the top performing competitors have got between 600 and 1100 reviews. So ideally, this business needs to get around 800 reviews in order to consistently compete in Google Maps. Now, that is a lot of reviews, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to break down how you can do that. First of all, get your Google review link and share that with old customers, and immediately after, current or future customers have a good experience. So you should be building into your business process to get reviews. All you do to get your Google review link is, if you type in your business name, or if you just type in my business into Google, you'll be able to see the business that you manage here. So Cap Dental, the one that I was just walking you through. If you click here, ask for reviews, and then go to this review link. This is a review link that will take people directly to leave a review. So share this with past, current, and future customers to make it as easy as possible for them to leave a review. There's also a QR code. So if you have a physical location or you see customers in person, print off that QR code, show it to customers, and just, when they've had a good experience, ask them to leave a review and build it into your process. Because yes, for that dentist, they need to get 800 reviews. That's a lot of reviews, right? But if we break 800 down, let's say that this business is open for 40 weeks a year. That's 20 reviews a week. Now, 20 reviews a week, 4 reviews a day. That's a lot, but if a dentist have got thousands and thousands of customers, if they're a big practice, getting that in a year is maybe achievable. And for a lot of you businesses watching this, you're not going to need 800 reviews. It's just going to be maybe 50 to 100 reviews in order to start showing up well locally, which, if you build it into your processes, should be more than achievable in the next 6 months. You can also go to SEO Space Local, head to our local SEO tasks, which I'll show you later. And we also have the ability, in order to give you guidance within those tasks, in order to how to get reviews. So we'll be showing you that a little bit later. But every single one of you here, if local SEO is part of your strategy, you need to be sending out your review link, printing off your QR code if you're a physical location or you see customers in person, and asking them to leave reviews. Ideally, photos and text in the reviews is even better. So if you do it in person, you're more likely to get those. If you've got team members, you can also incentivize team members to collect reviews. You can't incentivize people to, like customers, to leave them. That goes against Google's policies, but you can incentivize team members. So SEO Space has, I believe, over 120 five-star reviews. And one of the reasons we do that is we ask customers when they have a great experience with us to leave a Google review. And I also incentivize my team members in order to get those. And of course, any of your old customers, follow up with them until they leave you a Google review. It is so important. And I do recommend you view collecting reviews like a marathon, not a sprint. It should be part of your normal business operations, because every local business that I speak to that dominates in local SEO, local search, points to their review collection process as being, if not the main reason, one of the main reasons. And as I've said, you're one good 6 to 12 months from being able to beat all the local competitors. And as you can see here in SEO Space Local, we give you prioritized local SEO tasks to boost your local SEO with guidance, a competitor analysis, your QR code, and also your Google review link in order to get more reviews and boost your local SEO. Now, moving on to optimizing your business profile a little bit more, we're now going to be focusing on your primary and secondary categories. Your primary and secondary categories are one of the main ways that you communicate to Google what you actually offer. And you can actually add up to 9 secondary categories, which is actually something that I realize a lot of businesses don't realize. If I type in dentist near me, for example, you can see here what shows up there. That is the primary category. So what you'll see in a competitor's Google business profile, that's their primary category, but you can't always see the secondary category. So what I actually recommend is start off by spying on your local competitors to see what secondary categories they use to identify gaps to start optimizing your profile. Now, how I recommend you do that and what I use, again, is SEO Space Local. It's coming out very soon. You add the keyword that you want to rank and the area that you want to rank in. That's going to show you your top performing competitors. And as you can see here, we actually list their primary and secondary categories. You don't want to just pick any secondary category because you can dilute, you can confuse Google for what you actually do. But what you can see here, you can identify opportunities that you may not have covered. And all you need to do then is head over to your business profile. So I'm going to go back to this profile. And if you go edit profile here, you can go to business category and you can add secondary categories in here, as well as optimize your existing categories. And you can also do that in SEO Space Local as well. We actually have a listing manager in SEO Space Local where you're going to be able to edit your business profile directly from SEO Space. And we'll also give you guidance on exactly how to optimize it and what to do all in SEO Space. You can do it from your business profile or from SEO Space. So yeah, make sure you optimize your primary and secondary category. There's no guidance on how many secondary categories you should have, but definitely see what your competitors do and at least match them in order to make sure you're staying competitive. Now, moving on to the 4th step, optimize a local page on your website. Now, we've spoke a lot about your Google business profile, but your website is just important. And just remember, if you're doing local SEO, your website and your Google business profile are your digital footprint. If you can optimize your website to rank for the same keyword as your Google business profile, not only can you take up 2 spots on page 1, if you rank in the map and in the first in the list of websites, that's 2 swings at the bat that you get. So you shouldn't ignore your website. And also, if your website is optimized alongside your Google business profile, it actually helps both of them. So I want you to pick a page on your website and optimize it for your target keyword that you found earlier. Now, if you've used SEO Space before, you'll know how to do that. You just pick the page on your website that you want to rank for the keyword. You head over and open that extension and scan the page with a keyword, add the keyword in that you want to rank for, select the location, and then scan with the keyword in order to get step-by-step guidance of how to rank higher for that. Hopefully a lot of you know how to do that. That isn't the main thing I'm focusing on today. Now, we did recently release SEO Space AI. So outside of the recommendations here, you can also ask AI to give you recommendations for how to improve this web page's SEO. But fortunately, at SEO Space and at my SEO agency, we've done this hundreds, probably thousands of times at this point. So we actually have a template that I'm going to share with you guys at the end of the webinar, which is the exact structure that we follow on pages that we want to rank for local search terms. This is not only something that's going to help you rank higher on Google search, but it's also going to help boost your conversion rates. It breaks down the different things that you should include on different sections of your web page, and also gives you inspiration of what you can include. Again, I'll be sharing this at the end. You'll be able to access this, so don't worry if you can't see anything. And it tells you exactly what to include, including this section here, which is actually the next point. Number 5. What I want you to do is embed your Google Business Map onto your Squarespace website, and in particular on that page on your website that you want to rank for the keyword that local customers are searching. On that page next to the map, I want you to add your NAP information. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. And it's really important when it comes to local SEO, because remember earlier on I spoke about Google's going to look where your business is based when recommending you. If Google can't see where your business is based and connect from your business profile to your website and see that consistency and easily understand who you are, where you are, it's going to be less likely to recommend you. So I don't want you to use Squarespace's map block on your website, because if you've ever used this map, test it yourself, add it onto your website, if you click on it, the pin is not connected to your business. It's only connected to the address. And what we actually want to do, we want to create a direct connection between your website and your business profile. This is like a perfect example of what I love to see. You embed the map, and don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do this in a second. You embed this map onto your Squarespace site, and you add your NAP information. So the name's here, the address, the phone number, the email, even the opening hours is super helpful, because this is going to help Google understand where you are, who you are, and you've got all the key information on your site for local customers to get in touch with you. Now, in order to get this map, what you're going to do is go over to Google Maps, type in your business. So I'm going to type in Cap Dental, and they are Boynton Beach. So find your business on Google Maps, scroll down and click share. Then go to embed a map, copy this code and add it as a code block onto your Squarespace website. Make the section look like this, because again, that's going to create that direct connection between your Google business profile. This is, all the information that Google needs, and it's going to create that direct connection to your site. And, this is even a code from Google. So it probably makes sense to use Google's own code on your website. It makes sense that that's going to help you rank higher. So create a section on it like this on your local web page. And don't worry, I will be sharing this template after, so you can just copy it based on our experience of doing this hundreds of times. Number 6, set up business directory listings. Now, just like with normal SEO, in local SEO, Google's algorithm looks for trust signals in order to determine whether to rank a website. Google's a business at the end of the day, and it's only really wants to promote legit businesses that it trusts. Now, some signals are weighted higher than others. And just like how you would look at testimonials, reviews, social media profiles, credentials, etc., when looking to see whether a business is legit, Google looks at these things as well as a few extra things in local SEO to determine whether it should actually recommend your business on Google Maps and on Google Search. And a key area that it looks at is local business directories, sometimes called as citations. Think Trustpilot, even some examples here, Google Maps, Apple Maps, Foursquare. These are some examples in the UK. In order to find them, let's just take that dentist. If you just type in best dentist, Boynton Beach. If you just type in best and then whatever you do, you're going to see directories like Yelp, and then potentially some other directories here. Find dentist in Boynton Beach. You're going to find like lists in your industry that have your competitors and different businesses in your niche. Those are the sort of websites that Google actually goes to in order to see whether you're legit, because often they'll have verification processes. So if you're on those business directories, you're more likely to be real, and therefore Google's more likely to recommend you. They're sometimes called as reference websites. In software, you have G2, Capterra, you'll see SEO space on those. They're just places that Google goes to, and if it sees you there, it perceives that you're more likely to be real. And it also helps Google and AI search engines recognize your brand name. Because if you've ever Googled your name, if you've ever searched your business name into Google and you don't show up, that's because Google doesn't recognize you as your business name. It doesn't correlate the two. And one of the ways that you can fix that is setting up business directories. Now, I've already discussed the concept of NAP, name, address, and phone number. The critical thing that I want to make sure you don't fall into while doing this is I want you to make sure your NAP, your name, address, and phone number, is consistent across your website, your Google business profile, and your business directory listings. Maybe you've created some in the past, change your business name, change your address. Inconsistencies across your digital footprint for your local business can really hold you back. So if your NAP is different, it can hurt you. So I always recommend that you start off by doing a little bit of an audit, typing in your business name in Google, see where you show up, check the information is consistent before then listing yourself on new business directory listings. Now, a little bit of a bonus here is if you can feature in listicles, i.e. best of articles, you can also boost your visibility in LLMs, AI search engines like ChatGPT. So to give you an example, this is a page on Yelp, the best dentist in Boynton Beach, Florida. How AI search engines work, ChatGPT, Gemini, AI mode, the future of search engines. How they work is they'll scrape the internet, they'll take information, they'll train on that information and then provide a response based upon what it knows. If it goes through this list and sees this dentist on that list, it's been trained to learn that this dentist is one of the best dentists in Boynton Beach. And therefore, if you go onto ChatGPT, ChatGPT would be more likely to recommend that business if someone types in who's the best dentist in Boynton Beach. So you need to try and get featured on these lists. Let's say you are a website designer. Let's say you're a Squarespace website designer, right? You need to try and get on these lists, Kirsten Martin, SEO space, we have one. Because if you're on these lists, you get trained into LLMs and more likely to get recommended. So local businesses, this is an absolute gem. And you can see it's actually the second most important ranking factor when ranking in Gemini, one of the top AI search engines. So don't just look for directories, look for best of articles. And sometimes if you have to, pay to get on those in order to rank your local business higher up. Moving on to number 7, add real images. Now, I looked for a HVAC company near me because the air conditioning's been playing up, and these are the businesses that shows up. Climenta, they showed up at the top with 34 reviews. I'll just zoom in so you guys can see. So these guys showed up at the top with 36 reviews. And down there, this business, Mr. Cool, showed up all the way at the bottom, like 6th, and they had more reviews than what's showing up at first. So you're probably sitting there thinking, Henry, how come this business is, even though they're in pretty much the same location, how come it's ranking higher? And a big reason is that it's adding real businesses showing exactly what they do on their Google business profile. You can see Mr. Cool is not so cool. They've added a stock image of some ice on the business profile, and Google's smart enough to analyze these images. And if you're adding generic stock images to your website and to Google business profile, Google's less likely to trust and recommend you. So add real images, do it fairly regularly every few months, showing what you do, because that's more likely to rank you higher up on search engines. And remember, your Google business profile is your shop window. Images are going to capture the attention of people that are potentially looking at it and also rank you higher up on Google. So don't be Mr. Cool in this case. Then I want you to complete your Google business profile. Google sometimes adds new things into Google business, new fields that you can add. It does this fairly regularly. So I want you to actually go through your profile and make sure you filled out every single piece of information, because businesses that have a complete profile are 50% more likely to be considered by customers for potential purchases. So all you want to do is type in my business, go to your profile, edit your profile and make sure that you've got all of the information filled out. And a bonus, remember the keyword that we mentioned earlier, make sure to include it naturally 1 to 2 times, maybe once, and then add a variation 1 or more times into your description in order to, again, help Google understand what you actually offer. And just make sure that you go through all of this and fill out every single one. Social media profiles is a relatively new addition, and just make sure that you've got everything added in. Now, service areas, I get asked a lot about this. Service areas just helps customers know whether you serve them or not. This doesn't necessarily help you rank well in other areas, because remember what I said before, it's based upon proximity. So it's based upon how close you are to the searcher. And if your address isn't close to the searcher, just because you put United States, you serve whole across the US, doesn't mean you're going to rank. So make sure you add all of this information in. And again, on our listing manager, we give you a checklist as well as suggestions of what to fill in there. And what I also want you to do is you can also edit products. So you can add products and also edit services. Now, I do actually recommend that you do products. I found this works a little bit better, but you can also do services as well. So whether you sell products or services, even if you sell services, you can add those as a product. I found this works a little bit better, but just make sure you've filled out absolutely all of your profile in order to make sure you've got all the information needed to get your business suggested. So that is step 8, complete your profile and add products or services, ideally products, in order to boost your visibility. And again, that's going to be an SEO space local as well, or you can do it from the panel here. Step 9, I want you to embed your Google reviews into your Squarespace website. Now, I've already mentioned how important Google reviews are for boosting your visibility. It also helps with conversion rates. More than 7 out of 10 customers claim to always or regularly read online reviews when looking for your local business. So even just for conversion rates, it's crucial to have them. SEO space isn't a local business. We still showcase them because we want to show people how good our reviews are, but it also helps with local SEO because, again, those Google reviews are connected to your business. But a little bit of a tip, don't just embed those reviews using, this is a Google review widget that we use. Don't just do this. I also want you to have a section on your website specifically dedicated to reviews as plain text. Now, the reason that you do this is primarily around AI search engines, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, etc. The crawlers, the things that AI search engines send out to your website in order to understand your business and therefore recommend you, don't render JavaScript. So like code widgets like this, widgets that you add to your Squarespace site in order to show your reviews, they use JavaScript. And if the JavaScript isn't rendered, if it doesn't load, these reviews won't be picked up by AI search engines. So I want you to make sure that you have just a plain text section on that page, on your local page, and also on your website in order to actually just show the reviews as plain text so those AI search engines can understand the great things that people are saying about you, but still do this as well. The benefit by embedding your Google reviews as well is if it's a good Google review embed, it'll actually create local review schema. And review schema, if you type in Squarespace SEO services, depending upon where you are in the world, you should see SEO space come somewhere near the top. And you might see this star rating show up on our result on Google. And that's because the widget that we've added creates this code that creates this feature on Google. And again, imagine that you're looking for a local business. If you see that they've got 122 5-star reviews, even if it was second, imagine that this was a competing business that didn't have this, you might be more likely to actually click on this just because you can see it's got great reviews. So that can be massive for your conversion rates. And this is actually something we're adding in SEO space local. Maybe you use something like Elf Site at the moment. We're actually going to include the ability to have a Google review widget that you can embed onto your Squarespace website to boost your conversion rates, your SEO and your local SEO within SEO space local. So this is going to be included within it. So definitely, stay tuned for this because, that's something that I'm really looking forward to using as well. Now, moving on to the last step, that is scheduling Google Business posts. Now, for the posts, you can reformat your blog posts, your social media posts Just schedule one a week, showcasing the different news, products, services, updates, etc. from your business. Because posting on your profile boosts your visibility because you're going to own more real estate on Google. If there's posts, there's more space that you're taking up on Google search, which means people are more likely to click you, boosting your click-through rates. On top of that, it boosts your rankings because Google wants to promote businesses that it trusts. And if you're an active business that is up to date, showcasing news, products, services, then it's going to reward you by boosting you higher up on search results. And again, you can do that from your business profile, or in SEO Space Local, you can actually head over to here and you can schedule posts directly from SEO Space, making sure that your Google business profile is active. So that's within SEO Space, and we're also adding some AI features so you can create like infographics and images for your business profile posts from within SEO Space using AI. So recap: complete local keyword research to make sure you understand what your target customers are searching in the area that you want to rank. Collect more reviews than your competitors. Utilize a QR code if you're in person, or send out the review link to strike while it's hot when your customers have had a great experience with you. Optimize and carefully select your primary and secondary categories. I recommend spying on your competitors, see what they're doing, and sort of copy them to begin with. Optimize a page on your website for your local keywords. For example, it will be your service and then your location, like self-storage Yonkers. Embed a Google business map onto your Squarespace website, specifically the page on your website that you want to rank for local keywords. Don't use Squarespace's map embed, use the Google one that I showed you earlier, and also add your NAP information, your name, address, and phone number onto your Squarespace webpage. In a couple of minutes, I'll share the template that I showed you earlier in the chat. Create business directory listings to show you're a legitimate business. Avoid stock images, add real images of what you do. Make sure you complete all of your Google business profile. Make your description attractive, include your local keywords naturally, and fill out fields like your social media link. Embed your Google reviews and ensure that you're using a Google review widget like SEO Spaces that will have the review schema so you get the stars show up on search results. And then schedule Google business posts, ideally one a week, to highlight new products, services, offers, business news, etc., and schedule ahead of time to save time. Once you've done all of this, you then, of course, need to track, because you can't improve what you don't track. So do this and iterate over time. Carry on looking at what competitors are doing. Carry on getting more reviews. Tweak the keywords that you use and track that over time, because when you track it, you can see what is and isn't working and then iterate from there. Now, I've pretty much shown you most of SEO Space Local, but I'll just walk you through on a high level. SEO Space Local is SEO Space's local SEO tools. You can actually connect up to 3 Google business profiles at a time on our base plan, and you're going to get step-by-step recommendations of how to optimize those, as well as the ability to track how they're performing, track how they're ranking, spy on competitors, as you can see here. The local SEO tasks, as I mentioned before, these are prioritized tasks, personalized to your profile that you add, as well as usual, step-by-step instructions and tutorials recorded by me guiding you through how to optimize your Google business profile. As you know, with SEO Space, we're always improving these. So we released this feature set, what you can see here, next Tuesday. However, we're going to be improving it every 3 weeks from there. We've got the listing manager, so you can edit your profile within SEO Space. You can manage, reply to, and collect more Google reviews from SEO Space. This is where you'll also be able to embed your Google reviews. You'll be able to schedule business posts and then also track the rankings of any Google business profile. So you can actually add any Google business in here, and you can do this up to 50 times in a month to track how that business is performing. Maybe it's a potential customer that you're selling local SEO to. You can see how they're doing here. Maybe it's your own business and you want to type in different keywords, or maybe it's a competitor. You can do it all from here and view all of your previous reports, as well as also export those as a PDF, which, as you can see when this loads in, is coming very, very soon when it loads. This is a test version, hence it being a little bit slow, but as you can see, the PDF report is coming soon. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining. Have a great rest of your day or evening, wherever you are. I'll see you soon. Our next webinar is on AI visibility because we're building some AI visibility tools. So make sure you stay tuned and I'll see you soon.